Hello, welcome to Lecture 2. In this section we're going to learn about adding and subtracting positive numbers. We're going to start off with a little bit of vocab just for kicks and giggles. The first word that we got to know is sum. Sum is the result of adding two or more numbers. So what I have below here is an example. 2 plus 2 is 4, which we've all heard over and over. What we may not have known about is these extra little vocab words. Like the side where we add two things together, the pieces that we add, we call them an add-in. So if you wanted to, those are the pieces we add. And when we add the two pieces, and it doesn't matter what order we add in, because it doesn't make a difference for addition, we end up with the ending result, which is the sum, which is the result of adding two or more numbers. And you can add more than just two numbers. You could say 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So 1 is an add-in, 1 is an add-in, 1 is an add-in. They're all the same. So that is our definitions for sum. Now we're not going to have this easy of problems in our class, so stop throwing a party over there. We're going to have a little bit more challenging. Let's go ahead and tackle these 4 different problems. The first 3 on the top are in the similar format where it's vertical, and usually that's the way my brain likes to see it. I like to add vertically. So when you add, you're going to want to line up your digits, your places values together. So ones with the ones, tens with the tens, hundreds with the hundreds, thousands with the thousands, and so on if there's more place values. And you actually start from the right and you work your way over to the left. So you start with the smallest place values. We got 6 plus 2, which gets us 8. And 8's just a solid whole number, nothing to carry, don't have to worry. So we move on to the next place. We got 4 plus 6. Now we got a little bit of trouble. Our answer's 10. Now we can't write 10. We're going to write the digit to the right, which is 0, and carry the 1. What's going on there? Well, we have 4 tens plus 6 tens is 10 tens, which is like 100. So we're saying we have 10 tens. And this goes back to the previous lecture where that's kind of funky to see. It's actually better for us to write we have 100. So we drop what's the value in the tens place into the tens place. I know I sounded pretty much the same thing. So 0's in the tens place, so 0 is in the tens place. And we carry the 1, which is in the hundreds, to be added with the hundreds. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8, and we don't have to worry about 800. There's nothing extra to carry over. And then 9 plus 3 is 12, and we technically carry the 1, but that's not really necessary because now there's no more digits there. 1 plus nothing is still 1. So we could have just written 12. So our answer is 12,808. And you don't have to write that comma there. Sometimes people are picky about the comma, so just be careful whatever your professor prefers. And that's it. So let's do another one. Now, we got 1 plus 0. Once again, boring problem, nothing to carry, nothing to worry about, so we'll just write 1. 0 plus anything is the same thing. Actually, we could even write a rule if we wanted to. 0 plus anything. Oh, let's be scary. Let me write x. I know that's a scary thing. X could be anything, whatever you want it to be. And 0 plus that is still that same thing. So 0 plus 8 is still 8. 0 plus 9 is still 9. It doesn't change that number because you're adding nothing. And last but not least, we have 8 plus 7, which gets us 15. So we have 15,981. And that's it. Alright, continuing on. Maybe we don't have the digits all line up perfectly like our previous 2 problems. Usually what you'll like to do is write the longer digit, the one who has more digits in him, up top, and then the smaller digit one below him. I think that's just because that's the way I've been trained. I like to see it that way. It keeps you more organized, and it's easier to follow the carry. So 3 plus 9 is 12, and we're going to have a carry of 1. 1 plus nothing is still 1. plus 2 is 3. Nothing to worry about for carrying. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then we have 6, and there's technically nothing in the thousands place for this digit, so it's 6 plus 0, which is still 6. And our answer is 6,332. So those weren't too bad, especially since they're already lined up for us. Now, the next problem here is not lined up for us, and you can rewrite it in any way you see fit. I was trained where if I see one number is bigger than the other, I always write the bigger number on top. So 4,000 and a bit is way more than 1,000. So I'm going to write the bigger number up top. So I got 4,720 plus 1,324. And now I'm going to add digit by digit. 0 plus anything is still the same thing. So I still got 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. Place the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. And we have 6,044. And there's our answer. Notice I didn't write the comma that time. I'm lazy. I didn't want to. You can put it there if you want to. You don't have to, though. Now, let's get a little bit more complex. These were just straight up adding problems. Let's say we were asked to solve the equation. And I'm just looking at this picture right now, so don't cheat and look below it. Just look at this picture I drew here. Well, the computer drew. We have like a circle thing going on here with 5 stars in there, plus some unknown. I don't know, it's a question mark right here. And it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars. So I start with 5 stars and I add something to it to get 8 stars. Well, I could say, hey, let me mark, here's my 5 stars in the red. And here's those 5 stars in the red again. Oh, look, 1, 2, 3. I must have added 3 stars in here. This we just did by guess and check. Now this is a more visual way of the math problem. 5 plus something, and there's that X thing coming up again, equals 8. Well, what? Think of it as like a question. What plus 5 gets me 8? And we said 3. And now we get to do the same process again. We can look at the next problem. X plus 10. What plus 10 gets us 25? So how much more do you need to add to 10 to get 25? And if you want to, you can guess. And I'm going to torture you since I can. Let's say I guessed 14 plus 10. Well, let me add that. 4 plus nothing's 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. Oh, I was so close. I should have guessed 15, it looks like. Because 15 plus 10, if I add them up, gets me 25. So that means that unknown X there equals 25. And this is just purely by guessing. Now let's see it a little bit differently. This last one here. 33 equals what plus 4? So what plus 4 gets me 33? And I'm going to cheat now. I'm going to almost do a little bit of subtraction, even though we haven't seen that yet. I'm going to say if I take 33 and I subtract 4 from it, I will find what I need to add to 4 to get me 33. So this symbol here means subtraction. Let's see. I can't do 3 minus 4 because I would be in debt. I don't know how that's possible. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, 10s. Let 1s borrow 10 of you. So he's going to drop down. And now I have, instead of 3, 13 because he borrowed a 10. Technically there was 3 10s. Now I brought it down to 2, and I gave one of the 10s into the 1's place. 13 minus 4 is 9, and 2 minus nothing is 29. So what this says to me is, oh dear, I've clicked too many things. Ignore this. Oh no. Oh, jerks. I'm going to pause it. Hang on. Okay. We lost a little bit of data, but we'll be okay. So I think the number we had was 29. You'll have to backtrack the video to find it. What we were asking is what value of x plus 4 will get us 33. So we're guessing 29 plus 4. Well, 9 plus 4. Well, give 1 to the 9, that makes it 10, and then there's only 3 here. 10 plus 3 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and hey, look at that. So x must be 29. This is usually where people get worried, because they're like, oh no, there's letters involved in math. But you gotta just pace yourself. You can figure it out through guess and check, and a little bit later on we're going to learn that concrete method that allowed me to do 33 minus 4. It's actually a math rule. So let's talk about subtraction a little bit more now that we kind of got addition down a little bit, getting there. Subtraction, we have the difference. That is the fancy word for subtracting. So it says the result of subtracting. We got more fancy vocab. In subtraction, order matters. So the first thing that appears is called the minuend minus the subtractend. And these I might be butchering completely, so you look up how to pronounce them. And in the end, when we have a result, so an equal to, we get the difference. The word I want you to really know is the difference. If you are able to remember minuend and subtractend, that's kudos, icing on the cake. So let's practice some problems. We're going to start off with the weird horizontal one. 798 minus 345. Don't like the way it looks. I have to rewrite it where I see the first number, and now order is very important. He's on top minus the subtract head, who's now below him. And now we do the same thing that we did in addition, where we go digit by digit. 8 minus 5 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So we have 453. What that says to us, and we can check our work, subtraction is the opposite of addition. We take the result, the difference, and we add to it the subtractend, what we subtracted out, and we should get back to the minuend, the thing we started with. I know I hate the vocab too. So 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 4 is 9, 4 plus 3 is 7, and gosh, wow, it came out to be the same thing. So that's how we're going to subtract. Now we have to be careful. This problem was sunshine and rainbows because I didn't have to borrow anything. Our next problem that we're looking at, I have 0 minus 9. I don't know how I take nothing and subtract 9 from it. So I'm going to say, hey, tens, can I borrow some? And tens is like, I got nothing. So he says, hey, hundreds, can we borrow some? And hundreds still says, I got nothing. So we go all the way to the thousands. We say, hey, thousands, you got 2 of them. Let us borrow some. So he go ahead and says, all right, I'll give you 1,000. So the 2 drops down by 1. And now he gives 1,000, so he's giving 10,000. And we're going to borrow, and I do this the long way because I like to go slow. Some of you might already be thinking, why didn't you write a 9 there? I'm getting there. So the 10, we borrow from him, it becomes a 9. That's a badly written 9. And now this guy's got a 10. Now, 1 was the guy who had issues, so we still need to borrow. So 10 drops down to a 9, another ugly 9. And we give 10 at the end. So now we can subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 9 is 0. And 1 minus nothing is 1. And what this says to you is you can take 1001 and add 999 to it. Well, 9 plus 1 is 10, carry the 1. Oh, look at that. 1 plus 9 is 10, carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, you're getting bored, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Hey, we got 2,000 back. So we must have did it right. There's no way we could screw up that bad. So now we'll keep on going. Let's do the next problem. We have 4 minus 7. Okay, we can't do that. 7 is much larger than 4, so we have to go borrow and say, hey, 3, give me 1. So he drops down to a 2, and we give it to the 4. And some of you like to cheat where you write the 1 right there and you see 14. If that's how you like to view it, do it. Do what works for your brain. Sometimes I have to rewrite it because I can't see. It's too hard for me. 14 minus 7. Maybe you're thinking, oh gosh, how do I do that? Start subtracting. Whatever you do in your brain, think of it. We get 7. And now we move on. 2 minus 8. Ugh, oh man. Well, I can't do that. 2 is much smaller than 8. So now we get to have the funsies of borrowing again. So, 2 in the hundreds. Let us borrow 100. So he drops down 1. And we give 1 to this, we give 10 to the tens place. So we have technically 100. So now we have 12. And that looks horrible. Hopefully you can see that is a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. And now we continue on. 1 minus 9. Can't do that. So we borrow. When that 1 drops down, there's no thousands place. And we give 10 into the hundreds. 11 minus 9 is 2. And now we have 247. So, let's check ourselves. I know you're already getting sick. Like, oh my gosh, she's going to make us do it. Yes. So, we have the subtractand. 987. And let's add to it our result. And you might be thinking, well, you swap the order. Well, in adding, it doesn't matter what order I add. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. I can add in any way I please. Subtraction, though, doesn't like that. Order is very important. So, 7 plus 7 is 14. Carry the 1. And let me extend the page in case that's hard to see. 1 plus 8 is 9. Plus the 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 10 plus 2 is 12. And hey, look at that. It's 1,234. Just what we started with. So there was our answer. Alright. Next guy. We got 4 minus 8. Same boring story. We're going to borrow. So we drop it down. Make that 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 1 minus 9 can't do, so we got to go borrow. Oh, there's a 0 there. It's that issue again. 0 doesn't have anything for us to borrow, so we go to the next place and borrow from him. And now I'm going to cheat. I'm going to write a 2 up here. And I know I'm going to have to borrow from here anyways, so that's going to drop down to 9. A lot of you do that already, so it's fine if you want to cheat and do that. Just make sure you don't lose track of yourself. So now this 1 here becomes 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. 9 minus 1 is 8. 2 minus nothing is still 2. And that's it. There's our answer. Alright, last thing to torture you with. Let's solve the equation with subtraction. So, let's start with the drawing again, just like we did in our adding world. We have 5 stars minus some amount, I have no idea, and I get 3 stars. Well, I'm going to end with 3, so that's the ending amount I should have. So we could think about what plus 3 would get me back to 5, just like how we've been checking. Or you could think, okay, I have 5, how many do I subtract from it to get me 3? And you probably already figured it out. Well, we already have the 3 here, right? So we have 2. So x must be 2. And 5 minus 2, sure enough, is 3. Let's see if this was swapped on us, okay? Now this is where order is very important in subtraction. Our next problem. X minus 5 equals 3. I'm telling you, you start with some amount. I don't know. And I'm subtracting out 5. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots, okay? I can't draw stars. Equals, and I end with 3 stars, or 3 dots. Well, I definitely have to start with more than 5, right? Something bigger than 5 in order to subtract out 5. So the only thing that would get me that is 8. Because 8 minus 5 is 3. So I'm figuring out what can I have be subtracted by 5 and end with 3. Very different from 5 minus what gets me 3. Think about those two a little bit more. Make sure you really understand them. And last, and I promise this is the last of this video, 28 minus something gets me 11. Well, we're trying to figure out 28 minus some unknown ends in 11. Well, 8 minus 7 would get me 1, and 2 minus 1 would get me 1. So, 17 must be what x is. And I'm just guessing and checking because I feel comfortable with numbers. Hang on and we'll show you exactly how we can do this in a logical manner rather than just guessing and checking. So that's it for now. Take care.